Hi, I'm Debbie and welcome to Book and BuJo, where I talk about all things books, bullet journals, and stationery. Today I'm going to go over my 2025 planner lineup. Where to start? I've got a whole lot of notebooks on the floor right in front of me here, trying to figure out where I'm going to start. Let's start with ones that I'm carrying over from 2024 into 2025. First up is my more Commonplace notebook, and this one is just a craft paper blank notebook, and I use this pretty much just for all the odds and ends of random things, taking notes in books, doing some random doodles, and if I have quotes that I like, things like that. That's kind of where this one is. And this one is set up based on Clark Kegley's journal that he does every year. He does a new one every year. This one I just keep carrying over until I'm done because I don't use it quite the same way he does, but I do kind of separate it into the same categories, and I will leave his channel linked below in case you want to check out some of his videos on that. We start out with like quotes, and we go into book notes, and we have some processing section, so things you want to let go or just kind of journal something out to work through something. I have a freedom, which is kind of like artwork if I'm practicing some sketching or some junk journaling, things like that, just kind of to relax. Also have learning, so if I'm taking a class or listening to a podcast or a video and there's something I want to write down, that's what I put here. And then I also have 5 things. So this one, I haven't really been using this one as much as when I first got it, but it's like the 5 things you want to get done that day, or 5 things you need to figure out, plan out, or whatever. Maybe you have a project you need to really break down, you can put that in there. And then if you have any big goals or anything like that, you could put in here as well. For work, personal, all of that. So I'm going to carry this one over. This is the Archer and Olive sketchbook that we got in one of the subscription boxes. It was the travel one that had the hot air balloons and stuff. I think it was that one. Kind of the desert, it had the washi tape and stuff that came with the desert landscape washi tape with the cactus and stuff. That one. And then I have my morning devos. So this was the notebook that I actually just finished this one, and I spilled fountain pen ink on it. Well, you know, that happens. But I started this one in February of 2023, and I just finished it up in October, and this is just where I take notes on the different devotionals and things like that I do every morning. So I did finish this one in October, which means I already started on my new one, which is basically the same as that one. It's just a darker color, and it actually has a few more pages. So this one may actually last me 2 years. Just depends on the depth of the devotional that I'm doing. And I'm pretty sure I already have an unboxing of when I got this one. And if I can find it, I'll link that up above for you in the cards. But yeah, this is very fountain pen friendly paper, which is amazing because I do love using my fountain pens. My favorite fountain pen is the Kaweco brass. And then I use one of my new pen clips that I just got, and it's been working very nicely. So that is one of the other notebooks I'm carrying over from 2024 into 2025, my morning devotionals. And then I have my evening devotionals. So I'm still using this one, which you can see is very old. All of the fake leather stuff from the top is coming off on the sides. But it does work well with this pen holder thing that I got. I am about halfway through this one. Yeah, I'm about just almost halfway through this one. So this one will definitely take me through the end of this year, which means I will need a new one for next year. And this one I've actually had for a long time. I think this one was, we went to an estate sale at one point, and we bid on like a whole slew of boxes, and you had no idea what was in the boxes. Like you could see whatever was at the very top, but you had no idea what was underneath. Well, underneath there's actually a few notebooks, and I've used most of them, but this is one of them. I had started doing a bunch of memory verses per week that I would kind of focus on, but then I kind of stopped doing that in this journal. And so I have a ton of pages still left in here, and it's got these beautiful gold edges and the really pretty butterflies. It's got a couple of Bible verses on it. So I will be moving into this one for 2025, or as soon as this one is finished. Again, next up, stay tuned because I will be going over this one in depth where I set it up and everything. But this one is my 2025 travel journal. So we are going to be doing a little bit of traveling in 2025, which I had mentioned already. We're doing a cruise to the British Isles, so mainly Ireland and Scotland. But we have some points that we need to use, and they can't be used, they have to be used before that trip is going to be, and however confusing all of that is. But we will be taking another little trip somewhere fun before that to use up some travel points, and so I'm going to be putting them in here. So this is going to be my little travel journal. I'll give you a little sneak peek. I started trying to learn some Irish, and I will be continuing with that, but I have notes for that in here, and then I will also be putting like pictures and just memories and little notes and doodles and whatever of where we travel in 2025. And of course, if I don't fill it up, then I will move it into 2026 and beyond until, it's finished and full of beautiful memories of our trips. Okay, so one more morning one, which I probably should have done before that one, but I am currently in this notebook. And this is it started out as my morning pages notebook, but I've kind of morphed it a little bit because I have two different journals that I do in the morning. So one of them I've put a little bit more of the journaling side, and this one is more of memory verse tracking and things like that. So each day I come in and I have my verse of the month, and then I write out 3 previous memory verses. So I'll start with my verse for the current month, and then I'll do like my verse of the year, my verse from January, my verse from February, and then the next day I'll do the current month, and then I'll do February, March, and April's verse or whatever, just to keep them all fresh in my mind. I write out 3 verses from previous months each day. And then I also put in here, so I guess this is more my intention and affirmation journal. So I will put my word of the day, what my intention is for that day, which today is intention. So like a goal or a plan or a purpose, acting with thought, something you intend to do, doing the task that's in front of you, putting all of your intention and focus into that thing. And then I have some sort of affirmation or quote for the day that's kind of inspiring. Today's is from Marcus Aurelius and Ryan Holiday. I use a lot of those, but this one is, do each task in front of you with seriousness and diligence as if it was the last thing you are doing in your life. I thought that went well with the whole intention for the day. And then sometimes I'll do like a little prayer or some other kind of thing in here. And then I might also talk about like what I'm planning on for the day, or if I'm just kind of like brainstorming some stuff, I will use this as well. But again, I am almost done with this one. I'm pretty far through the notebook. So I need another one for 2025. And these ones I got at my previous place of employment. I had gotten quite a few of these, and they're just regular lined notebook, but it's a nice hardcover on it, which I really like. So I will continue from this one into this one for 2025 for my, we'll still call it morning pages, but yeah, affirmation intention pages. And then my other morning journal, I have a lot of stuff in the morning. This one, you also will have already seen me set up my moon phase journal, and I will leave that linked up in the cards or in the description box below. Somewhere you'll find it. And this one, so right now we are in the waxing crescent, and this page at the front tells me all about what the waxing crescent is, maybe some self-care ideas, some affirmations, some journal prompts, some rituals that you can do, maybe what the scent or the crystal is for that, and just different ways you can plan out your goals, projects, and all of that to align with the moon's energy, as well as how that affects your own energy. And then I have my journaling for the day. So right now I'm getting 2 to 3 per double spread. So I'll get maybe a portion of one. So here's one day, and then here's another day, and then here's a third day. Sometimes I will only get one. So like here, I will do, this is the last day of the waxing crescent. So wherever I end, I will just do a collage or washi tape or something like that if I don't take up the full page. And then that way, the first quarter starts fresh on its own page. So I will be continuing with this one through 2025. I have really been enjoying this so far. And that leads me to the most important journals for me, and that is my bullet journals and my reading journal. My current reading journal is an A4 journal, which was also from the Archer and Olive subscription box from way back when. I did the subscription box, I think the first year, maybe the first 2 years that they had it, and that's where most of these came from. And I'm getting very close to the end. It's getting very thick. And this size works fairly well. I don't really take this with me wherever I go. Where my bullet journal, I'm most likely to grab that and take that with me to take notes or check off my to-dos and whatever. This is pretty much just something I use when I'm at my desk. So I saw this one from Archer and Olive, and I knew that as soon as I saw the cover of it, I was like, that is my next reading journal. Absolutely. So I've used a few different sizes for my reading journal. I've used an A4, I've used a B5, I've used an A5, I've used a square. I do love the square notebook for my bullet journals, but this one, it's still kind of an A4 notebook. It's just, it's still pretty much an A4 notebook, which is, letter size, the 8.5 by 11-ish. But it faces in a different direction. And that is this one. This one's almost like a ledger, like if you were like old school accountant and you had to do everything by hand. That's what this one reminds me of, and I thought it was going to be perfect for my next reading journal. I don't know if it'll last me the entire year, but I'm hoping. But I love this journal. And it's still your normal dot grid. I don't know if you can see that in this lighting. Is my lighting? The sun keeps coming in and out of the clouds. I love this one, and it still has the 2 ribbon bookmarks. And it has the pocket in the back. I just love the shape of this one, just that it's this more elongated. I feel like this way, having more space this way works better for me than having it this way. So I think this will work a lot better with calendars as well, because you have 7 boxes that go across because you have 7 days, but you typically only have 4, maybe 5 weeks in a calendar. So that, I feel like that works much better with this, and I am so excited to start using this one in January. So stay tuned for my setups of all of these journals that should be coming in the next few weeks. Lots of journal stuff being planned for the coming weeks. All right, and last but not least is my new bullet journal, because this one is, this one's a chunky boy. I have been using this one a lot and having a lot of fun with it. So I think this is probably the thickest. So I have a couple of last year's journals, which it's almost the same size as 2 of these. That's pretty funny. And this top one's still somewhat chunky. So I need a new bullet journal. But here's where the conundrum is. So I ordered some new journals, and I realized when I got them in, I did not get any A5 size journals. None of these. So I still had one that I have not used yet. So I could definitely use this one. And that is the beautiful snake design, which I do love. It is one of my favorites. It's just a white dot grid journal, which is what I prefer. I'm not a huge fan of the craft notebooks. The Neapolitan one is fine, but it's not my favorite. I prefer just for my normal daily journal just to be white pages. But I did get quite a few square notebooks, but I mainly get the square notebooks because I wanted them for my reading journal, and then I realized I have 4 square notebooks and I'm not even using one of them for my reading journal for this year. So that's an option. But I do have one other A5, and that is the Halloween A5 journal, or the journal from the Halloween box from this year. But I have plans for that one already. I want to use that one as my next moon phase journal for 2026. So I'm keeping that one for that. And then the other 2 I have are more of that spooky season kind of feel. So I could use that for the last half of the year, but I'm not sure yet. Those are also from the Halloween sale from Archer and Olive. So one of my thoughts was to use one of my B5 journals and the A5 journal, which could definitely work. So it'd be probably the snake for the last half of the year, I think. I think that would make more sense. And then I have this beautiful compass one, which I love this one. I wanted to get it in the square notebook, but they were sold out. So I could use this for the first half of the year and this for the second half. And see how that would work. I don't know. So that's a thought. I really do want to try a B5 journal for my bullet journal. I have used one for my reading journal and it worked well for that. So I could, the other option is to save this for a future reading journal and then use 2 of my square notebooks for my bullet journal. What do you think I should do? Should I do the A5 and the B5? Or should I do the 2 square notebooks for 2025 for my bullet journal? Let me know what you think down below. You'll find out what I choose when I end up doing my BuJo, to coin Joshua Curran's term, the BuJo, my new bullet journal. When I set that up, then you will find out what I decided, but I would really appreciate your opinion. So if you could let me know down in the comments below which way I should go. So I showed you those 2. Let me show you the 2 I'm looking at for my square notebook ones. This one actually would work really well for a reading journal. So this one has the mug on top of the books, which would be a sweet one to use. And then I also have Mark from Mark Your Pages design, which I love that one as well. It's pretty cool. So I was thinking this one I could use for my January through June, and then I would use this one for July through December. So let me know what you think. Should I use these 2 or these 2? What do you think? Or should I go super crazy and not have them match at all? And put these two together. What you think? Out of these 4 notebooks, what 2 do you think I should use? We've got the A5 snake. We have the square books and mug, or teacup. We have the Mark Your Pages, really awesome design square notebook. Or we have the kind of compass nautical theme of the B5 journal. So let me know your thoughts down below. Which of these 4 notebooks should I use for my bullet journals in 2025? So you get to choose 2 of them, the snake, the book stack, the Mark Your Pages design, or the nautical theme. Let me know. And how many different notebooks and journals are you using in 2025? So I feel like this is probably the most I've ever talked about. But the morning pages and the devotional journals and some of those, I've been using those for years. I just don't usually bring them up on the channel because they're ugly. I just use some random notebook that I've had for years sitting in my drawer just to use them up, and there's nothing really interesting or pretty about them. I just scribble in them. So I don't really bring them up a lot. But I am really enjoying using them, and I thought I should share those with you. just in case there anything that are of interest to you to start at home as well. Are there any interesting kind of different journals that you use for your own personal use? Do you have a brainstorming journal? Do you have a yearly collections journal? Maybe you have a media journal where you keep track of all the movies and TV shows that you watch, or the gaming that you do. Do you have a Dungeons and Dragons journal? Do you have some other kind of collection? Maybe you have a coin collection or stamp collection and you keep track of things in your journal. I would love to find that out. Let me know down in the comments below. And thank you so much for joining me today as I went through all of my planners and journals for 2025. And please like, comment, and subscribe if you want to, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other planner content from me. And don't forget to vote down below which journals you would like me to use for my bullet journals next year. And until next time, keep planning.